Hi, my name's Dee and welcome to Sunchild Tarot and welcome to not your traditional monthly readings. I hope I am going to get time to do the monthly readings this month, but I'm going to do these ones first, and then of course we've got the eclipse coming up and I've got quite a few hours at work, so I'll get out what I can. There's a few things I wanted to do. Now, if you've watched me for a while, you know that I like to use a lot of decks. I always like to test myself. That's why I fairly constantly get new decks. And there's when I used to teach a tarot course, some 20 years ago, I used to say to people, you can use anything for divination, as above, so below, as within, so without. In a holographic universe, everything is contained in a piece of everything else. There's so if you wanted to use cutout photos from OK and Hello magazine, assuming that's a symbolism that you are familiar with and that you're comfortable with, crack on, you do it. So obviously with that sort of thing, you need a symbolic alphabet because you're going to have a limited amount of photos. Now, I've wanted to do, and thanks to the eclipse, I think, has finally given me the courage to do this on YouTube, is I've wanted to do a reading using also Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Now, I've never actually played. I've tried to play, but I love the Yu-Gi-Oh anime. I love Yu-Gi-Oh. Full stop. I love Yu-Gi-Oh. Now, with this amount of cards and more to come, no doubt, because I'll probably start shopping for them now. The worry about a symbolic alphabet is not quite as intense. So, because there's plenty to work with. And I was flicking through them the other night and just like, oh yeah, these will be perfect. It's about time I decided to do it. Now, last night I decided to have a look at YouTube to see if anyone else had done it. And I found a video from a Tony Ziegler who did a video about talking about using the Yu-Gi-Oh cards for divination and then never did another video again. So, has Tony Ziegler been co-opted by the Shadow Games? Now, if you don't know what I mean and you don't know your Yu-Gi-Oh, the whole idea is based that apparently this is an ancient Egyptian tradition where they were basically having astral battles with called the Shadow Games. And so these are supposedly all related to ancient Egyptian gods and what have you. Although they were ancient Egyptian gods that seem to be completely made up for the show, but who cares? What a beautiful image these Shadow Games are. Apart from when they're not, but everything has its good and its bad side. So, assuming that I don't get co-opted by the Shadow Games and whipped away somehow, you will see these videos. But it should be fun. Now, as ever, it's a general reading. General reading rules apply. Do not give away your power to a tarot reader. I should be telling you stuff that you probably already know. As ever, I will say take the reading as a whole or not. I'm going to be using the Celtic cross this time. There's a past and a present in that spread. If the past and the present do not fit, don't try and make it fit. Go and watch your moon, go and watch your rising. In fact, always try to watch your rising, and so you don't have to listen to my blurb a second time. There is a timestamp down in the description to get past it straight to the reading. Now, also down there is a link to a birth chart, two different online birth chart generators if you don't know what your rising sign is, because that's something that if you have your birth time, you need to know it. Now, also down there is the Facebook page for this channel. Now, that's got its own inbox, so if you want to approach me for a personal reading, that's the best way to do it. There is also a link tree there for my email and for my Tumblr and for all different other Twitter. But seriously, Facebook inbox is the best way to get hold of me. Now, as ever, I would say ask a question prior to the reading, pause the video, think about all the questions that are around you and be aware of all of them. Focus on one of them, but be aware of all of them. Cards will answer what they want. Now I am trying to grow the channel, so thank you to my returning subscribers, and If you are new here, welcome, and feel free to press the subscribe button while you're passing. And also a like helps each video get seen. And I'm rather hoping, I'm so looking forward to doing these Yu-Gi-Oh readers. Now, there will be a couple of Oracle cards in as well, because I can never resist these. But yeah, that's about it. So like I said, general reading, timing's not absolute. Other people, if they turn up in the reading, I see actions and energies, so maybe I get you and them mixed up. I don't think it happens that often. And nobody, I always say, if it does happen, comment down below, let me know. And nobody has done yet. So yeah, let's crack on. I'll bring up your cards. Okay, Gemini, on first glance, this looks like a relationship reading. However, I will withhold my "you're making me do a love reading," really, reaction, because one, I'm having so much fun working with these Yu-Gi-Oh cards as clarifiers, and two, it's a lot deeper than that. But we start with, right here in the center, we start with the hanging man, or hanging man in this one. And it's almost like everything is in suspension. Things are looking different. You are feeling off balance. We have temperance as the obstacle. Things are off balance. They seem heavy. They don't seem, it seems like there is an obstacle that you could very, very easily destroy with a 6 energy spell card. But do you want to? Do you want to actually destroy that obstacle? Really? Because you've got that sense of being very, very nearly there. We're so close. We're so close. But it's like that idea of trying to approach a wall, and each second you cover half the distance. But if each second you cover half the distance, you never actually get there, because it's half, then half, then half, then half, and so on and so forth. And you never actually get to touch that wall finally, because you were always half the previous distance away. But when I say this is a relationship reading, 2 of Cups in the past, 4 of Wands in the future. So coming together with something or someone, and then making a commitment in the future. And especially from the Greek mythology reading cards, we have Laertes with faithfulness. But there's more going on here. There's conflict with 5 of Swords at the bottom of the deck. There is a period of cold, of a lack of movement, a lack of energy, a lack of reaction, of engagement that seems to be occurring right at the moment. But I do also want to say to you that that is okay. The energy that Spirit is bringing in here is the Knight of Coins. So Knight of Pentacles, slowly, slowly. Now, this is clarified by submersible carrier aeroshark, which is sharks that can fly, carrying a plane that also doubles as a submarine. So there's this whole idea of changing elements, and to a great extent changing elements from water to air. Now that might mean something separate in your circumstances, but what I'm not water to air, sorry, air to water. That might mean something in your circumstances, or water to air, but I'm going to go with air to water because that was the first one that came into my mind. Like it's going from the intellectual realm into an actual emotional realm, and that is going to take time because there is shadow work to do. With the 4 of Wands that's coming up, a commitment that's coming up, we have the Dark World Dealings card, which rather is a scary image to start off with. And then reading the card, it's basically everybody draws a card and discards another card. End of story. So everybody is giving something up to gain something else. But with this, the whole idea of Dark World dealings, everybody's being required to be very, very clear, because there is a very calculating influence around you. Now, I'm not saying that this calculating influence is bad. So if this is like the other person in a relationship, it's not that they're manipulative with this calculating, but they know that 2 + 2 = 4, and if they do this one thing, people will react a certain way, and if they do another thing, people will react a different way. And this Queen of Swords here is clarified by, and you couldn't get a better card, really, a Gren, Tactician of the Dark World. So I don't even need to read what he's about. It's some way to bring the shadow up to the light. Some way for that shadow to be explored, revealed, dealt with. So you could be in the hands of somebody who is waiting for you to grow up. Or you're both in the position of you're waiting to grow up, and this other person is well aware of that fact, and they're going, hang on a minute, before we dive into any form of weird commitment, let me just sort my stuff out. And while I'm sorting my stuff out, I advise you to do the same, because we've got the 8 of Cups at the very end of the reading here, which you would immediately think is walking away from a previous dream. Yes, it is, but it's walking away from a previous dream into pastures new. Look how he has one hand right rose up, like, oh, let me do it so the camera sees. So he's like, onward, this is the way we're going, come on. We're going to this new place, which is indistinct. It's represented by the moon. It's represented by Pisces. But it is a dream to reach for, and it's a new dream. Now, with that, we have 3 cards came out. Solemn Judgment trap card, Dark Scheme trap card, which is yet another discard. Well, this time discard 2 cards to get 2 new cards out. So again, there's this dumping of baggage going on. And then we have this very beautiful Hecatorist. Let me bring it a bit closer. So, oh, it's not quite focusing, is it? Now, this is a magic item that you discard to summon or add to your, I don't know, monsters. Valhalla, Hall of the Fallen. Valhalla is the place of the heroes. Fallen doesn't necessarily mean in shame here, or like a fallen angel. It just means passed on to a new state. So there's this whole concept of being allowing, getting rid of stuff to pass on to a new state, pass on to a new level. But the requirement is that shadow work is done, because I believe that this here is a partnership you already have. Bear in mind, this could be employment. This could be in a friendship. This could be you with a particular discipline. You know, like for instance, with me learning astrology, I've met astrology and I have fallen in love. And have I made that commitment to astrology that the 4 of Wands here is promising? Well, yes, but no. Am I training to be a professional astrologer? Not yet. No, I'm exploring with wide gaping open eyes. But I haven't turned around and said, this is what I'm going to be, and to be that I'm going to do this course and get this qualification, and I'm going to do this and this and this and this, and then I am ready to be a public astrologer, which theoretically you don't have to, but I like the idea of people who have gone through a sense of mentorship. I mean, obviously David's my mentor at the moment. But have got some letters under their name, or they're a part of an association where there's certain ethics that they have agreed to abide by, all those sort of things. So no, I have not made that 4 of Wands commitment yet. I can see it in the future, but I'm not going there yet. I think that's where we are at the moment with you, Gemini, that you can see this commitment in the future, and there's this sense of why? Why is this not happening already? And it's because you are not ready. And there's plenty of time. As I say, Spirit's bringing in the Knight of Coins, but we've also got Remph, the Angel of Time. Now, one of the messages of Remph's cards is all things burn away, all things turn to dust. That includes all the things that you're keeping in your own dark world, in your shadow, where you have to go and do your shadow work and face a few things about yourself and then let them go. It might not even be that hard. It might be, I've always reacted a certain way to this thing because XYZ, and I don't want to do that anymore. Okay, that's not the discard. That's the desire to change. The discard is, and I forgive myself for reacting like that up until this point because I can see why I was doing it, but I just do not need to do it anymore. That's the discard. And that's the actual, in a way, that's the shadow work as well. There's the recognizing it, and then there's the releasing of it. But until you get to that point, yes, you are going to be banging your head against a brick wall. But with the Knight of Coins and with Remph here, there's no hurry. There's no great, oh my God, we've got to do this now. Because it's almost like there's a feeling here of, we've got to do it now, otherwise we'll lose it, and someone will come and snap this person or snap this thing or snap this opportunity, this job away from me. And I honestly think that fear is unfounded, and that is one of the reasons why you need to do this shadow work, is to let go of that fear in and of itself. We also have Sphinx with silent wisdom. Now the Sphinx, let's face it, it's old. And if you go by a lot of the alternative archaeology, it's a lot older. But even by normal archaeology, it's old. So there's, again, this sense of time. Now, Sphinx here is representing silent wisdom out of the Osset Oracle, Osset Egyptian Oracle cards, get my teeth in. But what I'm wanting to say here is it's not so much presenting a riddle, but highlighting a riddle. You are asking, why is this taking so long? Why am I not moving forward, or why are we not moving forward? However, if you have made me do a love reading. But anyway, this, and the Sphinx is mirroring back at you going, yeah, why aren't you moving forward? That's a really good question. Have you thought about it? And so there's what I feel is a safe opportunity, or safer opportunity, to deal with this shadow work. There's a safer opportunity because you are feeling so very unbalanced. It means that you are getting to look at things that you wouldn't necessarily have looked at before, and you're getting to look at them at a different angle than you would do before. So yeah, there's a lot of shadow work here doing for you, but that also figures, doesn't it, really, with the fact that we've just had the very recent total lunar eclipse, supermoon, flower moon, blood moon, all of that, which is very, very much about releasing things, being a south node eclipse. And we're heading towards that north node solar eclipse, which is only partial. I would say that a solar eclipse is always more important because it's the sun, but a total eclipse could be more important than an annular one, which is what is happening with the sun. That's not a total eclipse. So I think there's a total solar in December. I think. Ooh, look that one up. Don't quote me on that, but I think there's a total solar. I think there's a total in December, but I think it's the solar one next time. But yeah, this calculating, studying influence that's around you, I actually see that as a really good influence. And I don't feel that, even though it's Queen of Swords, that she's necessarily cutting things away. It's that she's cutting away the obstructions, the obfuscations, the cutting away those things that are blinding you to whatever it is that you are needing to work on. And that solemn judgment really indicates to me that there is a serious, yeah, I'm letting this go, I'm not doing this anymore, right at the end, because a new dream is coming. But here you notice he's going away from the cups, which are all contrived, contained dreams, and just going towards the moon, which is wide and open and empty. You don't even know what that new dream is. It just looks like something better. And it is something better because it's not limited by being in a cup. That's actually really, really beautiful. So in conclusion, Gemini, I think if you are indeed one of the Geminis who has been thrown off balance because of the weight of a situation not progressing right now, it's well worth being grateful for that, because there isn't a hurry. You've got to take this journey slowly for it to be effective. That's everything that I'm seeing there, Gemini. So if you, I haven't said this on the last two, but if you enjoy these Yu-Gi-Oh readings, let me know. Because they're a lot of fun to do, although they feel a bit weird, I will be honest. But how many Yu-Gi-Oh players are there in the world? So I'm obviously connecting with some form of egregore or other. Like I say, hopefully I won't disappear like Tony Ziegler seems to have done from YouTube. Yeah, comment down below. Obviously, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. There will be eclipse readings, and there will hopefully be monthlies, although they're probably like halfway through the month because I have a few shifts on at work this month as well. Don't expect anything early this month. That'll be true. There'll be a show with David about the eclipse, obviously. So yeah, stay tuned. Thank you for visiting. Thank you to all returning subscribers. And if you haven't subscribed yet, feel free to press the button. You are more than welcome. And I am trying to build the channel, so every bit of help is severely appreciated. All right, see you later, guys.